Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how MW2 is coming to the Game Pass. That's right, finally, MW2 is coming to the Game Pass. Sort of, maybe, not really the one we were hoping for. I'm going to flash it on your screen right now, but yes, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 edition is coming to Xbox Game Pass on May 1st and will be available through Ultimate and PC Game Pass. This has to be the most least exciting news I've ever covered on this channel when it comes to Call of Duty games. Of course, we spoke about MW2 supposed to be coming to Game Pass in April for what was supposed to be, or what we all thought was rumored to be, the OG MW2. Then some more interesting news came out, of course, this month, where we had the cross-gen edition showing up on the Australian, I think it's ratings board for MW2 and MW3. So we didn't really know what was going on there. And then this news came out, and it really just, took the tone from, getting to that point of, when's it coming, when we get an MW2, we're getting MW3, are they getting remastered, are we getting OG, what's happening? And then they dropped this on us, and I feel like, I'm hoping this is just one of those, this was planned all along, and they didn't just read the room like this and thought, yeah, this is the MW2 that people want. I highly doubt it. I imagine this has obviously been in the works for a while. It's just a bit of a lackluster release, to be honest. The only other cool thing is, and I mean, it's a bit old now anyway, obviously GTA 6 is coming out sometime this year, I believe, or next year, but there's GTA 5 in this month's Game Pass releases, so there's that if you really wanted to play GTA 5 and go back and play that's kind of cool. But Modern Warfare 2 2022, it's one of the games in the Call of Duty series that for me personally, I'd love to sit there and talk this up and say to you people, give it a shot, download it, play it, give it a try. I didn't enjoy the game. I didn't like the game. I even made a video, calling it one of the worst Call of Duty games of all time. I know that's probably a bit over the top. We've definitely probably had worse, but you guys let me know in the comments whether or not you think MW2 2022 edition is the worst Call of Duty game of all time. I think it's up there. I really do. I think some games are overhated compared to it. I think Infinite Warfare is put over it, and I think that game's overhated. I think Vanguard's a little bit overhated. It's still not a great game. It was a little bit boring, but I don't think it was as bad as MW2 2022. But I know there is a fan base out there for it that do like that style of game, like the style of MW2. So if you didn't play it and you want to play it, then feel free to go ahead. If you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or PC Pass, you will be able to do so, and it is going to be there for you guys to play and maybe enjoy or not, or just give it a try. Maybe you wanted to play the campaign, maybe you wanted to play something else, maybe DMZ is sort of what you're looking at. I know DMZ is quite popular, maybe that's something that you're going to be looking at. But other than that, really, it's going to revive a player base for a game that's really, I don't know, I can't imagine there's many people who play it, and even if this does somewhat revive it, does it really matter too much? It's one of those. It's a Call of Duty game I can't see getting a big effect from this, but it'd be interesting to see. I want to see what goes on with this, because we know MW3, of course, is on the Game Pass, and I know that game's surviving quite well, because some people prefer MW3 to Black Ops 6, so maybe some people are going to prefer MW2 to Black Ops 6. I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to see what happens. Maybe I'll go back and play it, kind of see what goes on with the numbers and the player base, see if it does change anything dramatically, kind of gauge where we're at with, releasing old Call of Duty games, because this is a game that obviously wasn't last year. This is a Call of Duty from 2 years ago now, so I'd love to see where that's at. I'd love to see what that does for MW2 2022. Kind of might give us a glimpse as to what happens with older Call of Duty games that maybe aren't so popular, like Call of Duty Ghosts or Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty games that I think people aren't looking forward to so much for going back and playing, but would play maybe for once or twice. I want to see what happens with that, but yeah, pretty disappointing news, and it kind of just leaves us with are we even getting MW2 on the Game Pass now? Are we getting the MW2 that we wanted, the OG MW2, or are these MW2 and MW3 cross-gen editions, which was leaked and rumoured by many sources, saying that these have got, been on the Australian, board, ratings board, which to me sounds like, remastered Call of Duty games that are going to be coming to Xbox and PlayStation at some point. And that's the interesting part. This is what makes me think it's a little bit different, and it's not going to be something where we're getting led on by all these leakers who are saying, MW2 and MW3 remastered, and then we find it's something like this, where MW2 just ends up on Game Pass, and it's actually the MW2 from 2022. Because these are ratings for PlayStation 5, and that's what interests me the most, because with them being rated on PlayStation 5, that obviously means this isn't going to be some sort of Game Pass news, and they're specifically called cross-gen editions. Why are they called cross-gen editions, though? I want to kind of talk about that a little bit whilst we're talking about, obviously, MW2 being released for Game Pass, which, again, if you want to play, it's up to you, but I'm not going to recommend it, and I'm not going to give you guys high hopes if you've never played it. But cross-gen editions, what does that actually mean, though? I saw many comments on my previous video about this, discussing this, and people were saying, oh, that doesn't actually mean it's remastered, and I'm kind of leaning to more towards that it is leading to a remastered. But it could also be, let's be honest, guys, we know that PlayStation 6 and Xbox, whatever the next Xbox is called, is in development. I believe they're both due for release dates in like 2026. So would they go out there and make MW2 and MW3 cross-gen editions for those? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm leaning more towards that. Like, a cross-gen edition, as some of you guys put in the comments, would obviously mean something like when we had PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, or Xbox 360 to Xbox One, something like that, right? Where it's another console to another console, and it's a different generation. We do know that Xboxes and PlayStation 6 are being made. Then I don't know if they're releasing next year or the year after that, something like that. There's no confirmation of that. But obviously, MW2 and MW3, that's 2022 and 2023, are now both on the Game Pass. So would Microsoft want people to still be able to play those games through the Game Pass? Obviously, they would. But that doesn't explain why there's a rating for the PlayStation edition of the game. Does that mean they're going to re-release them for PlayStation users and you have to like buy them or something, or they're going to have their own version from the store for free to get, to be able to play MW2 and MW3 from 2022 and 2023? I'm starting to think these cross-gen editions aren't going to be what we're hoping for. This was like a sucker punch bit of news, getting this news today, kind of with the MW2. And again, I know that's probably a bit harsh. I think obviously it's probably a bit harsh to look at a Call of Duty game and sort of be like, well, that's terrible. We're getting a game for free with our subscription and stuff. I get that, but we all know this isn't the news we were hoping for. This is not the MW2 we were looking for. Microsoft and Activision know what we want. They know what we're looking forward to. They know what we're trying to get, like, back on the game, well, get onto the Game Pass. They know, they must have seen countless videos. They must have seen the spark online when people have spoke about MW2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. They know the people are out there. They know the people want that. And then we got hit with this news, and it's already now put a dampener in my mind about these cross-gen editions of MW2 and MW3. I'm starting to lean towards them not actually being OG MW2 and OG MW3 remastered. But you guys let me know down below, do you still believe that they're going to actually be remasters, like for actual MW2 and MW3? And when I say actual, I mean the OG editions that we do want. Or do you agree with me and think that these are actually going to be cross-gen editions that are going to be made for when we get Xbox, whatever it's called, Xbox 720, I don't know what it's going to be called, and PlayStation 6? Because that's what I'm leaning towards now. And again, this news today kind of leads me towards that, which, again, it sucks a little bit because I want to be hyped. I want to sit there and tell you guys that OG cards are coming to the Game Pass, which I do expect. Like, there's no way they can see all this noise about it, all the, attention, all the people wanting it. Every time, like, there's been, like, a remake of these OG games on PC, they shut them down, like, they stop them. They know people want it. That's why they shut it down. Like, if it was only, like, 10 or 20 people joining these, PC remakes of the original version so they can be played in the modern day, then they wouldn't bother shutting them down. But because they know people are going to want to play them and want to keep their sales up and stuff, why not just go out there and release OG MW2 and MW3? Like, where are the remasters? Where's the Game Pass, like, editions of the game? Why are we not getting the games on Game Pass? But you guys let me know down below what you think. But that is all for today, really. Some somewhat disappointing news. Some of you might actually be interested, but I thought I'd share it with you guys anyway. A discussion about MW2 coming to the Game Pass, not the one we were hoping for, and possibly now the remastered or the reimagined or whatever cross-gen edition of OG MW2 and MW3 might not actually be the OG MW2 and OG MW3 that we thought. But you guys let me know down below what you think. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.